Okay, we can open up the August 5th Sewer Commissioners meeting. Elaine, aye.
Bill Watson, aye.
Brian Donahoe, aye.
Okay, and then we can make a motion to go into a public hearing that's been continued since June 26th.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
A roll call.
Elaine, aye.
Bill, aye.
Brian Donahoe, aye.
Okay, so what we did was had the updates to pages 29 and 30, specifically Article 6.2 equivalent residential unit determination, and Article 6.3 betterment payments, as well as pages 32 and 33. Article 7.5 equivalent residential unit determination, and Article 7.6 sewer connection fees. Both those address the three categories, as well as the allocation of betterments and connection fees to bedroom counts for phase 1 and phase 2 only. And the term of any debt with the town was changed from 30 years to 20 years. So those are the two changes duplicated from the betterment to the connection fees.
So,
Do we vote on these now, or do we adjourn the public hearing and then vote on these?
Adjourn the public hearing, and then it would come back to the board.
Okay.
So there's no public in attendance, nobody's online, so we can adjourn. We can bring back the public hearing to us for discussion and then adjourn after our votes.
Don't you have to do a motion to close the hearing if we
Yeah.
close it?
Yeah,
just a point of order,
And then we come back.
why can't we vote these as the public hearing this is our third continuation of the public hearing after all of our, I'm asking, I'm not saying this is right,
yeah,
but after we've done this third time and third iteration, vote within the public hearing that this is our final determination based on, and just vote it right now.
procedurally, we close the public hearing because the public hearing allows the public to speak.
Because if someone wanted to speak against any of these votes before we close the hearing.
No, I get that, but there's nobody here, so,
So
okay.
procedurally,
I'll shut up. I'm stopped.
I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
So now, back to the board for discussion. Any discussion on the changes?
No, I think we've done a lot of time, a lot of effort, we put a lot of thought into it, and I think we're where we want to be.
Okay,
A motion?
I'll make a motion to accept the changes, final changes as amended in the,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so we can adjourn, make a motion to adjourn the public hearing. Right?
Okay. I'll make a motion.
Okay, I'll make that motion to adjourn the public hearing.
a second. There you go.
All in favor?
All right,
Aye. Okay, so our rules and regulations and all our fees and charges have been established, and we're closed all that out. Okay.
great. We should applaud each other.
And those are effective for what?
Um,
At the next billing cycle?
yes, yeah. Well, the betterments and all that is effective now. The fees, yes, the
Yeah, yeah.
fees are effective at the next billing cycle.
We just they just took the last meeting reading last week on the 31st.
Yeah, so it's,
So we could theoretically put it on this next bill.
yeah,
It'll be on the next bill I have.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
So it's really active as of last Friday.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then,
Well, more than that, because it goes back for the whole quarter.
yes, I think the language was to have it at the next next quarterly billing.
Right, which started now, like I said, on the first, they should have taken the readings on the 31st.
Yeah.
Last
And I
Thursday.
should have the bills to go through by the 10th or the 11th of August.
Okay.
If you already started running.
Okay, okay, so we made all the deadlines we needed. Okay. Then we have the draft public hearing meeting minutes for July 8th.
Great. I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of July 8th, 2025.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Let me go into our regular agenda items. We have commitments. 26-05 for $504.72 and 2608 for $252.39, which are based on recent real estate transactions.
Make a motion to accept the equipment.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, update from the superintendent.
Okay, so it's hard to know where we left off last time, but in the last couple of weeks, just some updates. We had some sort of an electrical issue, actually two of them, almost back to back, one on a Friday night and another one that following Sunday. The one on Friday night wiped out a circuit board on one of our generators at Marion Drive. That generator basically it was seeing some crazy power coming in from the town. So when the circuit board, whatever happened to it fried, we started running on generator. So the generator ran pretty much all day Friday. Sorry, it happened Thursday night. So it ran all day Friday. We were able to get a new circuit board by Friday afternoon at 5 o'clock. So we managed to get our generator, our station off generator power and back on city power within the day. So that was thankfully very helpful. The emergency contract we have with our generator service company, they happen to have a circuit board on the shelf. So that was one issue we had. That was, like I said, it was a Thursday night. Ran into Friday. Then that following Sunday night, we had, I don't know if you guys recall, a torrential downpour
Yeah.
and a thunderstorm and pretty violent storm that rolled through. We have a battery backup system, UPS system that runs all our call outs for when we have an alarm that gets triggered. The battery backup system, for some reason, had some sort of blip involved with it and never called us out. So the whole entire plant, thankfully, it worked as designed, but the entire plant basically went into sleep mode. So we had electricity, but all the operations that run the controls to turn the mixers on, open up valves, aeration, everything went dead. Never called us out. So that happened on a Sunday night. And luckily, the default program, as long as there's electricity running to the influent valves, if they don't see power going to the circuits that control them, they automatically open. So thankfully, we had an open tank. The other three tanks equalized into the fourth, so all four tanks were equal, and they just continued filling up all through the night into the morning. So 7 o'clock in the morning, we discovered this. So I'm actually working on some ways that we can go about if this, God forbid, ever happens again. Luckily, we had power to open our control units
Yeah.
and stabilize everything. But if we lost electric power and didn't get a call out, would have been going down the road. Because that first tank would have just kept filling and not dispersed into the other three. So we're working on getting, I've already reached out to Ericsson to come up with a system that would just be dedicated to that control mechanism on a separate cell phone, that if it ever happens again, it would call us out.
Okay.
So we're working on that.
We're gonna back up to the backup. Yeah. That's
Yeah, and this is something Bob always said, there's only so many backups to the backup that you can
Yeah.
have, but the other thing I'm looking at doing is, you ever seen the temporary speed bumps, or like a rubber speed bump?
Yeah.
So there's 2 points going up onto our tanks that you come in from the backside, and if these were our 4 tanks, then you'd come off the front side. There's a curbing all around the entire tank system, except for those 2 exits. So if we put a speed bump at each exit, at least that way, if it does overflow, it'll all contain and spread through the other containers. So trying to think outside the box on some what if scenarios, because we already had a couple of what if scenarios that luckily didn't end up in some sort of catastrophe.
You don't have a high water flow valve system on any of those?
We
tanks?
do, but if the system can't call you out, telling you it's high water, then you're dead in the water and it's overflowing and going down the road. So these are
Yeah.
the safety mechanisms that are in place did not activate because there was no power going to those units. So, again,
Talking to Erickson about that this can't be the first time this has happened that they can see, and like, I think that's the right way to go is, how do we circumvent that happening again?
And you can't predict it by saying, I'm gonna send a guy up there and stay up overnight. During a major storm or a hurricane, maybe a
Well,
hurricane.
if we have
But a
a
lightning
major
storm.
nor'easter coming through, that's a snow event, and we're not gonna be able to make it into the plant because we're buried and the end of our driveways are plowed in, we'll all come in, actually camp there overnight or leave 2 guys there overnight. For that reason.
Manpower.
But for every rainstorm and lightning event that comes through and has come through, I've been here 13 years now,
Yeah.
never happened,
Yeah.
so there's always gonna be that perfect storm, if you
The
call it, or
Yeah.
the fluke, or
Right.
whatever it is, 1 in a million. So we're just looking at some ways we can circumvent if something similar happened. Luckily, everything activated and worked as it should, but if the generator didn't kick on, and then we didn't have power to open up those 4 actuators, then it would have been going down the road. So you're just gonna kind of think out the box, and what's a couple fail safes. So the speed bump would keep everything contained and it would just overflow to the next tank, until we came in the morning. But the other thing is trying to get a cell phone based system that's not reliant on these other systems that we have in place.
And even if we could tie it into the backup fields we have as a last resort, it doesn't go down the road, it goes into somehow into those fields, but that just, this, we can think this all through later, but the other, as we get into, now that we're going into business again, that 4 tank's not gonna be empty next time, so I mean, that's even more prudent now,
Yeah,
because,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good thing it happened now.
yeah.
Now, the transfer station lost power too on Monday. Was it all
Yeah.
related? Didn't you even know?
Was that Monday as well? I
Yeah.
think that was another day in the week.
Oh, okay.
I wanna say that was.
that was Monday, yeah,
Tuesday or
Monday
Wednesday,
morning, yeah.
Was it?
They said it was gonna be shut down all day, but then by 10
10
o'clock.
o'clock it came on.
It was a day that they were supposed to open on regular business hours. I wanna say it was a Wednesday.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Cause they, instead of opening at 8, they opened at 10. Yeah, it was
Yeah, that's
either
right,
a
they don't-
Tuesday or a
yeah.
Wednesday.
On Monday, they do that. They open-
They shipped,
they
they
open
left,
at 10.
yeah,
Okay.
It's like normal hours.
They don't stay open.
okay, no,
No extended.
So, yeah, a little exciting, but luckily we're getting through it and working on a fail safe to the fail safe. A couple other items that have come up, the Baymont, I guess they're looking at switching that occupancy back to typical hotel occupancy. So it doesn't change anything on our end at this point. But there was some questions and discussions about what if they turn those back into and this would be a down the road thing, just something to consider, is if they turn these into like a condo, like 1-bedroom condo type units.
Yeah, because they reference in the email here, workforce housing solution.
that's what they
So,
were before.
The what?
They were, that's what they originally, when they changed from the hotel, the Hojos, that was what they were, extended stay. They changed it there, so that sounds like the same kind of thing.
Yeah, and which would be good. I mean,
Yeah.
workforce housing,
There's
everybody
people
needs
that
that.
quite a demand for that, where they had like one or two guys, people would go and stay for weeks at a time, do some project in the vicinity when they were doing that, upgrade of all the telephone poles. There were people looking for that, but they weren't available at the time, but I guess it's quite a business.
Good.
So on that, I'm going through some of what was on my list, which I
Okay.
know was on our other discussion list, so I might end up bouncing back and
Sure.
forth here, but as far as the Baymont and the ERU numbers, I would imagine if they were to put in, say, 100 of these units, would we look at each one of those units as an ERU? Or how would that be addressed? Do you know how we?
I'm gonna go back to our,
Because let's see how they were originally done, because yeah, let's see how they were originally done. To me, if they're gonna be housing solutions, it would be, each one would be an individual, self-contained
It's a different
unit.
animal, because they have kitchens and all.
Yeah.
There's people living in them all day long.
And that's what it says here, that they're gonna put, some have full kitchens already, so I would think it would be considered like an apartment.
well, the Title V rate would change.
Yeah,
Would be I mean, to keep it consistent with our rules.
Right.
That would change. I'm surprised they're not kitchens there now, because they must have taken them out.
Some of them look like they have them and some look like they're gonna modify them so
Yeah.
that they would.
it says,
Somewhere around 100 or so permanent housing units.
it says here that says now 45 units have full kitchens already.
Okay, that makes sense then.
And they're looking to make a total of 94 suites, all one bedroom with kitchen suites. So,
Cause it's still a hotel, basically, and then years ago, they added these units, and friends lived there year round. in one of them. Cheaper than living someplace else,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, just looking at if each one were treated as a one bedroom, it looks like the amount of ERUs they have, I think would be sufficient, but obviously if they change the usage over there, we'll have to kind of get into that a little deeper.
yeah. Do we know how many they have now? How many use they currently have?
37.
37.
Okay.
And I think if I did my math right, 110 gallons per times 100 units,
Yeah,
be 11,000 gallons. Divided by 330.
But we should call every three of them, like, one unit. Okay, well,
I don't know.
instead of each individual one.
I
If
know,
each one were considered 110 gallons per day,
Right.
they would have sufficient ERUs. If each one was considered,
So I'd be basing
Full
each
ER.
unit on.
right, and they need more.
I would consider it like an apartment building with number of bedrooms.
Right.
And just divide by the number.
yeah, go back to Title V. That way they,
Divided by three.
Yeah,
So then that seems like.
yeah, the 330. Yeah.
Okay.
That would be how I would.
yeah, just as long, because everything we've done all along has been Title V,
Title
come up with a number of it. And then see what it looks like, but increasing it, yeah, I think that's the way to go.
On the electric strike, Main Street, they're looking at putting in a laundry. That property behind the KFC.
Mm-hmm.
So we were doing some calculations on how many ERUs they need. Let's see, so currently 114R is the property. It's allocated 330 gallons per day of sewer capacity.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. You can throw it out there, but we really can't talk about it because it's not on the agenda.
Okay.
You can make your comments, but then anything we say has to wait till the next meeting.
So they're looking at putting in 19 wash machines. And we can, Jeannie forward you the letter that they had sent, but 19 washing machines puts them at quite a bit for capacity. We're looking at potentially 7,600 gallons per day from 330. So it's going to be quite an increase in usage. So we've got to figure out how we address the
What do you say, 7,600
7,600.
7,600 a day?
Mhm.
So divided by 110.
Divided by 330, puts you at 22
Okay.
ERUs.
Yes,
So go from one ERU to
That makes
22
sense, yeah.
ERUs.
Now you're basing it on actual flow based on what we charge because of, state regulation, go by Title V.
So they had originally, according to the plans I knew, when they looked at putting a well on site. But now we have varying conditions because now there's water in town.
They want to put a well on site to satisfy their water needs.
That was before.
Oh, before the moratorium went.
Now things are changing, so I don't know how that's gonna change in terms of their, planning and that sort of
I
thing.
mean, I would think if they kept the well, that they would have to put a meter on it. Because whatever they drawing out of the ground, they're dumping back into us.
Right. We'd have to calculate it based on the ERUs
Yeah, any argument.
by Title V, so it might be an inaccurate. They'll probably be paying more than what they need to in terms of sewer capacity,
And then,
soil usage.
and that might be a time, our rules and regulations do say we can go by actual use. So if there's history of what laundromats typically produce. So we can get all that together for the next meeting.
Good, I mean, a true laundromat down the street.
We are bettering that now and allowing them to expand to a different
Use,
business.
yeah.
And that's what.
Yeah, and I don't know, is there even anything in there at this point? Was that, there used to be a dog?
Yeah, I think,
Here or something,
yeah,
is it gone?
Yeah,
yeah,
Oh, that's good. So a business left and someone else can come in. That's great for the community.
mhm,
Would you say about 20,
22?
they need total 22?
Yeah.
They have one now,
Yeah.
21 more. Okay. Yeah, we'll put on the agenda for next week.
yeah. Give some thought to it between now and then.
Not related to our part of that, but putting a well in, that, if I was the engineer involved, that was a very dirty site. That was filled in a long time ago. There was a whole bunch of, as I recall, hazardous materials in there when they put that in. It was before the MCP. I mean, and not to mention the well, that's pretty close to, I just would be very interesting to see what kind of water quality they would have. And just to say to them, like, before you go, if they think about the well, that's their decision. But, and we'll figure that out ourselves, but if they're looking for a well, like some of these other places, you don't know what the water quality is. And that's pretty,
They'd have to go down 300 or 400 feet to bedrock.
if they were a bedrock well, I mean, then you're talking 10, 15 grand for a well. Yeah, but I mean, that's what I'm saying, but you're then, if you're in the bedrock, we're in the iron and manganese treatment, they're in all kinds of treatment. Just, kind of, we have this giant $30 million iron and manganese plant at Kingston now. So,
Yeah, like I say, this kind of came through before some of those changes happened to the water moratorium, so that might change in itself as far as the well, which I imagine it will. A couple other things here, Howland's Lane, I got a call from. Piece of paper, this. McDougal Brothers Construction, they're doing some work on Howland's Lane for one of those new houses that's going in on the left-hand side as you're going in.
Yep.
And for their sewer connection, where they would tie out to the sewer is about 15 feet deep. It's right as the hill starts coming up there. And his question to me is, would the sewer department be comfortable with them tying into a manhole and doing a stainless steel drop connection inside the manhole, as opposed to digging down 16 feet to the force, to the gravity line? And as I personally, I don't see why we'd want them to go down 16 feet on that road. I think it's safer for the contractor, and just in terms of access to it, if we have to deal with it,
Yeah,
it's better for us too, I think, if it's at a higher elevation. So I just wanted to see if anyone had any comments on that.
the
One way or
only
the other.
comment I have is, did they give you a sketch of what this intersection of the manhole is? It's out, is the stainless steel outside? It's not projecting inside the manhole, is it?
So what they would do, I imagine, he suggested, he said, just see if we can do it first and then I'll draw something up, but they would core the manhole, have the connection come in with a T and a vertical drop with a little elbow at the bottom to shoehorn it into the infra.
Okay, my only concern that For you, for some maintenance, it gets in the way if you're trying to clean it out or do any kind of jet vacuuming,
Mhm.
because you'll knock it off. So just as a,
Yeah, and that one there, we
So-
can open the cover and see if it's, how it's set up in
yeah,
terms.
so if you had
where it
something
goes
more,
from.
here's the manhole, I'm drawing it to you.
Mhm,
If you either had one or two things, with the manhole top was offset, some of them, like the cone goes like this.
mhm.
I don't know, some of them are just like, some of them are offset. You have them come in, if it you can do, you come up here, then you can do it, because then you're not gonna bang into it.
Right, right.
But if it's a standard
At
one,
the stairwell.
just have it come in and protrude only a few inches.
Mhm,
You're not knocking it off.
gotcha.
Obviously, it's really,
Yeah, and I think,
this is more of a, this is not as big a deal with that problem, but in catch basins, manholes and stormwater, it's
oh,
a
yeah,
huge
they're
problem.
always in the way, right.
But just a thought, just, so you don't get
Yeah, and I worry about if we ever had to enter the manhole,
all of
if
those.
there's not a drop,
There you go.
that,
Yeah,
you get,
because
you get that stuff covering you. So I personally, I'll look at the manhole itself, but as long as we're okay with doing
Yeah.
a inside drop on that, I'll give them the go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. That's good. I just want to throw this out there, not that it's something for a huge discussion right now, but we can put it on one of our future agendas. Town of Plymouth went up on their septic rates. So I feel like we should follow suit. Typically, when they go up, we go up, and that's our closest competitor for people dropping septic off to the plant. If they don't come to us, they typically go to Plymouth. So right now, we're at 6.5 cents a gallon. And they're at 0.072, so 7.2 cents. So my personal opinion, and we can put this on a future agenda as well, is sitting somewhere around 7 cents. So someone might come to us as opposed to going to Plymouth, dollar for dollar with just a fraction less than at 7 even, and it's easy math. That is a 0.002 difference. So again, we could throw it on a future agenda, but I just want to at least throw it out there tonight, so you guys kind of have it in your heads thinking about for the next meeting.
do we even vote on that? I mean, I don't think,
I think we have it in our rules and regulations that we do
okay.
decide it.
Curious.
Yeah, and it doesn't look like it needs public discussion.
No.
It's just
Yeah, it's
the
kind of,
commission sets the rates, so that's.
Right.
I would just out of courtesy like to roll it out at a point that we give the septic haulers kind of a heads up, so
Yeah.
they know to adjust their rates going forward, whatever date we pick, to give them a little leeway, so. We'll put that on our next agenda, septic rates. Let's see, a couple other things. So what I've discovered in the last couple weeks to year, when we had our sewer moratorium, there was still some new developments in town. So there are people within our system that still have septic systems. I don't know how extensive it is, but from wherever we put on our sewer moratorium till now, I'd like to see between Jeannie and myself, and we try and get a sense of our overall system is how many people are still on septic that have a sewer that's tied out front. So we were doing some work up on Prospect Street, and there were 3 new houses that went up there during our sewer moratorium. So I know of at least 3 that have been discovered.
Really?
Mhm.
this is a very important, we were talking about this a little bit, we get now at the time to do that, but I couldn't agree more. There's a bunch of them out there. That was part of what Aaron was helping us do as you went through, Gene's got a comment.
Are they paying a betterment and they just haven't connected?
That I haven't gotten
Gene has
that
a point,
deep into.
Yeah.
So Joyce, had run into an issue where some of the septic liens weren't released.
Okay,
So she got in contact, I can't recall his name, I believe it's Sean, and I don't know the last name, who does the septic and the betterment loans. So she asked him if he could give all of the, septic and betterment loans that have been processed for the town of Kingston, so I'm waiting for that, so that should be able to be another cross-reference.
Right, so do we know if 38, 40, and 42 are currently being charged to betterment? By us?
No,
No, they're not. Okay,
Yeah, and I would guess that they're not just because they couldn't tie into the sewer, so.
this doesn't even ring a bell at all, but no, that's good. So
In the
that's
original, in the original plans, those houses weren't even there. Those were just open lots.
it just, yeah, okay.
How long have the houses been? 5 years?
I wanna say. And it's just a guess, 2006, maybe?
Okay, so it's been a while. Yeah, I mean, that would fit in that they didn't have access, so they put the septic system in and but they still should have had to pay a betterment.
That's why I'm confused, only because I came on in 2004.
Yeah.
And we did phase two, what we call phase two, and there was capacity back then.
And maybe it was after, maybe it was 2012.
That's, I
It
mean,
was somewhere in there.
yeah, I mean, either way, it's been identified, so that's a good thing.
Yeah. But there's probably, again,
Yeah,
there's more of these because
Yeah.
it's just what happened.
And within the office, there was a lot of times that after Suzanne left, we had 4 or 5 different administrative assistants that, and now it's 3 chiefs later that,
yeah,
I think just looking going forward, that part of our plan should be to kind of see the 10,000-foot view and then go street by street to confirm that. I imagine everything in the nook is probably on, but who knows if someone put on a little house here or there or a cottage
so
or.
that brings up Aaron's project. We can talk about it off here, but that's why,
See where we left off.
Yeah.
Because I know then we got into a whole, bunch of other parameters that we're dealing with, other bodies to put out that.
and
Aaron's
that's it.
project kind of went on the back burner until we got our physical stuff in shape. So.
And then maybe it's a matter of bringing Aaron back into the loop again, if she's. So,
Willing,
yeah, but okay, so no, that's good, that's good,
Some more things.
exactly.
seems over there wailing again.
To tighten up the, loose ends around, so.
Gene's over there wailing again.
Yeah, go ahead.
so I did have a call with, Steve from GIS.
Mm-hmm,
And the new sewer system map. I asked, I reached out to Ben Moshe and Tom at CEM to get the shape file for that, so that that can be uploaded and put onto GIS.
oh, good, very good. Nice.
And just a small housekeeping thing, our insurance company, MIA, reached out through Tina, Betty, the HR director here. They were looking for basically an infrastructure maintenance program and some things we do for like grease mitigation and then storm. Basically looking to have us implement a storm protocol that deals with pre-storm, storm event and post-storm activities. So I put together all the information we had that we already had, used in-house for all our different procedures for pre and post-storm activities, daily maintenance, weekly maintenance, quarterly maintenance. So I sent that all out to them the past week.
Oh, good.
So.
And the fact you had it already is very, very important.
Yes, and I'm actually glad that, this came about, because I did it last year as well. But there was a change on our emergency contact people that we reach out to. So the Board of Health is still Joyce, but Joe, is it Sloger?
Yeah,
Was
for
on the
shellfish,
Shellfish,
Yeah.
he's no longer there, so
Right.
that kind of triggered, we've got a new telephone number for the new gentleman, and so you don't realize how much time has passed, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden there's, 1 or 2 people that might have changed, but that all went out last week to Maya, so
very good.
I think that's it on my end, other than the announcement that our new laborer had twins, and everyone's healthy, 2 twin boys.
Oh, wow.
Now he really needs a job.
Yeah. So he came back today after about a week and a half.
Boys or girls, or one of these?
Two boys.
Two boys, nice.
Atticus and Elliot.
Atticus,
Very,
And one other item, I might as well throw this out there, the senior tax work-off program. This was just sent out by email, so I know you guys are all residents if you're interested in the senior work-off program. It looks like all the different departments have listed here some work that is available. So I noticed we don't really have anything on here. If there's anything, and we can put this out for our next meeting, if there's anything you guys think that maybe we could add a position or task that might be fitting for a senior work-off task. Yeah.
yeah,
Somebody to sit up there and as the contractors come to dump the key.
Yeah,
Across
yeah,
the
that's
mill,
the PA.
you not have to take one of the guys on the line.
we can put that on the next one. There might be some projects, filing, scanning, anything that they might be able to do. You can talk about it and see what. Okay. You have Country Club Way listed?
Oh. Yeah, so, 320,
324.
I always mix the two of them up, 324 and 342, so I apologize for mixing up, but
Does it want to,
if Jeannie wants to speak on that, they reached out to me and I pushed them on to Jeannie.
okay,
So I reached out to, the contractor today, just asking a few questions, asking him to call me so we could just go over, the paperwork, this, insurance, different things that he'll need to provide to us. And then as we move forward, what the cost would be associated in all the paperwork. And I asked him, was he gonna just pay the betterment off? Or was it gonna be a betterment loan?
yeah,
So I'm just waiting to
okay,
talk to him one-on-one and get the information.
so they are connected to sewer.
But if he's a contractor
Yeah,
building
yes.
a piece on a piece of property, he owns the betterment. And when he passes papers, he should be paying that off, I would think,
The bet,
unless it's the homeowner that is the general contractor.
it depends on the financial institution who gives them the mortgage.
Okay,
If the mortgage company lets them spread out the remaining betterment because the betterment with us goes with the property.
right, well, yeah, but every time a property is sold, that is paid off.
Depending on the bank, that gives whoever that person is a more. 99% of the time,
Right,
yes,
right, yeah.
the mortgage company doesn't want a municipal lien.
Okay,
But in the rare occasion, there are some mortgage companies and banks that will allow the municipal lien and continue on a payment plan.
okay.
Very, very.
I just assumed if I sold my property, that I would have to pay the betterment off. Because I own the betterment, that means new people will take it.
yeah, in most cases, that, like you said, most cases that would be exactly right.
Yeah,
There's a new bank picking up, it's gonna say, no.
right, no
Change it.
municipal lien. Okay,
So, the other address on Country Club Way was 324. And, I did express that they'll have to tie in. I've tried to, I guess I gotta reach out to this gentleman again. So he's the actual builder for the client. But, they were the ones that designed the septic system for the site.
yes,
And, so I'm gonna reach out to them and see what their expense was for the septic system design. And see which direction, the town wants to go in terms of, if there's any
Well, they have 10 years to use it, so they have to
Any-
abandon it.
compensation on our side for the design feature if he ties into our sewer, because they have to tie into the sewer now. Because the sewer runs out front and they've already paid for a design on the septic system. So I reached out to Keith. Keith said he'd work on communicating with this gentleman, so I know Keith's had a few things going on the last couple of weeks. I'm just gonna reach out to him one more time this week, see if I can get some direction on that. And, I'm gonna personally reach out to the builder and see what he had for an expense.
And my only thought on this, like, we've talked a little bit about it. is the engineer who designed the system should have asked the question, is there a sewer in front? Never did. It's been there for 20 years. Just as another, if when you get into negotiating, we're starting to look at whatever number it is. you know. Just so it's in the back of your mind, From my point of view, I'd say, hey, you're engineer,
You're
all you had to do
engineer.
is come to town.
You're
It
engineer.
It was always there.
wasn't like we made it up or something.
Little for well water in town. So that sewer line's always been there.
Right.
They had to have been paying a betterment on it.
That's another question, goes up there, because the difference is, I don't know that there is
Because
this
it was
is a
big-
question. This is a
Should've-
question.
It should have been better.
Some of those houses with the betterment, that's a big question. Are there betterments in the houses that are already hooked up? I think that it might have been Tonsberg put the sewer in, so there was no betterment. He paid for the sewer.
I'm pretty sure that's the case. I
Right.
think the sewer went in down on Country Club Way and they just put a stub there. I don't think they paid a betterment on that property.
That is correct.
Okay.
But is a betterment due is the question. If Tonsberg put in the sewer and put in this stub, is this, I don't remember that there was ever any grace given to him. So the betterment would still be applied
Correct.
as soon as someone got there. I ask it as a question because it's old
Ma-
news.
My understanding, all the way back to Suzanne.
Yeah.
That we have been reserved, well, and we continue to reserve capacity.
Yeah.
For those lots and those houses. And, when they connect to sewer, a betterment is owed.
Okay, that makes sense to me,
Yeah.
but it's an odd duct. That one street is an odd duct. That's
Yeah.
why I'm saying it just, and it was a transition, and all I remember is having fights with the guy, so.
Because to your point, the betterment is now for,
It's still, it was treatment,
everything.
it's everything. So,
It's not just
Yeah.
the
That
pipe.
goes down to
Street.
a pump station, it goes through all our force mains, it
Right.
gets treated.
All of that, I mean, all that, that's what I'm saying, that if there's somebody saying, we're not gonna pay it, that I wanna make sure that's clear that we're on the
That's
same
how-
side.
yeah. That's how I've always understood it.
We're not giving money away, ever again.
Another thing I had come up, now that we're on Country Club Way is, and I know Brian and I talked about this, is getting the grass to grow around Lynch Way where they put those valves. So, I expressed to the neighbor that was inquiring about it that, just seasonally, where it was the summer and it couldn't water it and everything else, that they plan on this fall reestablishing new seed and grass up there, so.
Yeah, I did talk to CDM about this, they're on this now. Come up with a plan, and I stressed to them, you and me following up on it, Dave and I kind of stepped back as the right people involved.
The seed
Matt's,
experts.
and Matt's dealing with it as his spec for the conservation. But I went back to make sure, and that's gonna come to us shortly. A plan to do all the erosion control and everything over again,
Okay.
so.
You want to just give an overview of the financials?
Can I say that?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Or it's not on the agenda, but it's related to, one thing I was gonna ask, can we add old business as a standard line item?
Sure.
Just because this will cover what, we kind of did it without having on there, but just to cover that administrative point, but Main Street, where they came into us, I've noticed a lot of activity there. Somebody's moving forward with that, looks like.
Okay.
It was very good to see. But, well, I'll wait till later. Bring that up later. Just to let you know that there's something going on there. There's more paint all over the place now.
Okay. That's at 200.
Yeah, the one that came in, the couple
Yeah.
came in to talk to us.
Yeah.
That's the building department, what they permits for. That's still landscaping.
So, yeah, as far as financials. I don't know if you want to talk on that. I know there was some updates recently.
So the financials and revenue look really good where we're at the end of FY 25. I'm waiting still for the bills to post because Rhonda was out last week and I was out yesterday. So those bills haven't been processed, but I was going over with Dave and several of our accounts have a good amount, left in them as far as expenditures. Revenue, the septage was 622,000 and change. And our sewer user fees with the two, quarters where we increased the rates, we're at like 1,580,000. So much, almost, we've really catapulted. And when me and Dave looked at septage the last 2 years, last year, this year, it was like $290,000 increase. And from the year before, it was like a $80,000 increase, so.
Wow, that's excellent. That's unheard of.
And the plant is treating that and getting excellent results.
Good.
Really clean water coming up, even treating all that septic.
Now, the user fees, 2 quarters equaled the 1,500,000?
No, that's the whole.
The whole year.
The whole year.
Okay,
It included 2 quarters with the increased rates.
Okay.
2 at the old rate, 2 at them.
okay. And the estimated year-end budget, it was like what, 1,300,000, 1,400,000?
1,300,000.
1,300,000-ish? Okay,
For FY 25.
25, yeah.
You can keep all that right this little guy.
While you're looking, that just means that our revenue met our expenses and we don't have to use any of the money allocated at town meeting for a shortfall. The numbers don't look like we will have to use anything that was allocated at town meeting for a shortfall.
Correct.
Okay. Depending. Yeah, so is there a town meeting? There's a town meeting already scheduled for October, right? Okay. We may want to talk about some of the funds that we allocated for debt to be reallocated to capital or any unforeseen expenses, keep some of, we have to read the articles and see if debt was specific to a particular year.
Okay.
If so, we should probably reallocate it to make it available again for regular use. Okay. That's okay, Dave. It's.
So. Yeah, I know, I can't find that specifically, but I know our septic revenue, we anticipated 400,000 and we're at 622, so we bumped that by 222,000 just on the septic alone.
That's very good. Get some history behind us and we may be able to give some, as projects come on board and we get the user fees that we hope to, we may be able to, look at the rates again, like we said, get a little bit of history behind us. So.
Yeah, and there may be some changes in the next 6 months to a year that change at the mall
Yeah.
and some other locations, so.
And you want,
We've discussed looking at them on a yearly basis. It
Right.
Makes complete sense.
you want to talk about the moratorium, Brian, and
Yeah.
whatever else you have?
Sure. So, first of all, I'll go on record for the sewer commission to thank the Board of Water Commissioners for reversing and lifting the moratorium, which helped us, as you know, tremendously, but it also helped the town. And I think, I'm just very pleased for us that they listened to some information that we provided them. And, we got a lot more to do, though. It's not over. We have quite a bit of, as we just talked about, looking at the world going forward and the connections.
Yeah,
The first one is whether or not this Costco project goes forward. One question I have there, just looking at the numbers, is, and this is where we need to be talking between the water department and the planner, building department, at least. What the actual demand is. As I got more into the bug dust of this, the amount of water demand for what is currently allocated to them, even the extra capacity that has been sold. You add the mall, Macy's replacement, whatever that is going to be in reality, and the MBTA overlay, which I understand from talking to the planner, is a lot of interest in that. So going back to what Dave said, in the next 6 months, a lot of things could change with the moratorium law.
Yeah.
And our goal, our responsibility is to make sure that we're thinking about this capacity of that piece of the world and the benefit it has for the town of Kingston and our revenue, but town of Kingston as a whole. And then looking at the rest of who else has to hook up,
Right.
the other priorities we have. So just putting that on the table. On that, I don't think I sent this. This is everyone else got this, but yours bounced when I sent this. This is my draft of a idea of having a joint water and sewer commission quarterly meeting. This is scheduled for 2 weeks from now, which probably won't happen, but the idea is to set up that you can have that actually. There's another one.
No.
You can have, this is an idea for you to think about us meeting quarterly, all two boards, staff, everybody, to talk about what are we doing. And we see the idea here is, first one is introduction, where we identify how we work together now and how we can work together better, what we don't do together. And that's a kickoff.
Yeah.
And then that would quickly lead into as you all know, one of the priorities from 25 years ago was to put in sewers around the South Street wells. There's 3 wells that they represent right now, based on everything I can find, about 50% of our water supply. Okay. And the degradation of those wells has occurred in the last 20 years. I think I mentioned nitrate's gone up from nearly nothing to close to 3. And so this offers a real opportunity for us to, first of all, meet our objective and our goals of planning this whole treatment plant
Right.
to protect the wells. The wells are the water department's responsibility. Here's a great time for us to work together, not only in the design and all that basis, but construction, the whole thing. If there's anything that's going to help us learn how we work together, it's a project like this. So, and I've mentioned this to everyone on the water commission, and so I throw that out just to kick around a little bit more. But I mean, now that we've got the moratorium lifted, let's start directly going towards somehow interrelating us to them. That's it. That's just what you're thinking about.
No, I think it's a good idea. And, years ago, we did used to meet with the water department, maybe twice a year, just to touch base. So, but that fell off the wayside, like everything else, life gets in the way. But no, I think, establishing some structure would be very good. Maybe we do it, like you said, every quarter, so maybe something, like you said, August 19th may not be doable, but maybe Jeannie can reach out to Stacy and see
Sure.
what works for them.
And I'll be talking to the commission too as well, just to kind of, they know about this idea, and there's more we can talk about that idea as something bigger.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So then, just to go on it real quick, I have asked CDM, and this is something else we've talked about before, but until the water moratorium get out of the way, really make any sense. So CDM is putting together for us a design cost estimate, something for us to be able to react to. It's not costing us anything to do this, but take the priorities, look at them from a 10,000 point view, look back at the facility plan that we had before, what needs to be updated to bring it into compliance for SRF money. We just missed the SRF cutoff 2 months ago for fiscal 27. For 26, I mean, but for 27, we could get into this. But you're looking at fairly extensive sewer around South Street, down on Elm Street, something there. Then you got potentially Potter Street, you got potentially the town and country, and then you got all the area where, along the Plymouth line, back up at, the hill there. So those are the priorities that have always been on the table. It's reallocate, reassess them. Which ones maybe don't have the big problem we thought they might have?
Yeah.
You know, this, we think, I mean, again, everything we were looking 25 years ahead, and I'll be damned if we weren't close. Oh, really?
No, I agree.
So, I mean, but things change, everything's changed. So if we can, the reason I'm saying that, go back to the allocation, and I'm looking at, and I've said this several times, we don't have enough to deal with the problem we have.
Right.
Nobody predicted the mall was gonna be what it is. Nobody predicted it's gonna have the potential water use that it's gonna have potentially. So here's a chance for us to regroup, think about it, be smart about it, get ahead of it. It's not getting in that SRF line, because we're talking a lot of money. It's small sewers at this point.
Yeah.
But if we start looking at, we need 2 more tanks, then we need the right people around the table to say, you know, we need 2 more tanks.
Well, that's it. And to your point, I mean, right now, what we have a pretty much like a tank and a half left of capacity, and then that's it. That's it.
Yeah. And then you got,
In the leaching fields, that's it.
yeah, so the leaching field has land next to it,
Yeah.
and,
So.
We have room on the back for 4 more tanks, right?
Someone
It's the
else's-
highway.
Someone else's problem.
yeah, we're talking several years down the line. But, you know, when you open for business, you tell people, you know, we have this going on, it's a good thing. People hate seeing stop.
In the future, I always thought town and country, we took over their facilities. Put in a plant there, bigger plant, took care of that whole end of town. And everything is coming back this way, you stop and then redivert from our existing to pick up all this other infrastructure.
Problem is the leaching field. We're gonna put the water.
I thought they had a pretty good sized field down.
Yeah, they're on the edge. They're on the edge.
They were,
Yeah, that's why they were, I've talked to them. They were actually looking at expanding, and they had no place to expand to. The leaching field wasn't big enough for what they have.
well, they have more property down there to put more buildings on. Why didn't they use that as leaching fields?
It doesn't have, it's not sand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty shallow to bedrock in there too.
Yeah, they're pretty close to sea level.
Yeah.
But
So
anyways, it was just a thought.
on that same thing, just not to play with, phase 2 of the original sewage treatment plant, facility plan was doing exactly that at Wingate,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Silver Lake High School, and that whole area to protect Silver Lake, a drinking water supply of ours, if we want to use it ever.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that. That's our water as much as it's Brockton and Pembroke and Hanson and Halifax. So, you know, people talking about water, we got a whole big giant reservoir of water there. And it's just surface water supply, but you know, people do it all over the place. But to protect that water, that's why it was such a priority.
Yeah, I remember that.
And so, all right, that's all I want to say. Just I'm glad we got past that house door and we're going forward.
Yes, and that was a very big step for the water commissioners, and I agree. They have helped to, you know, help Kingston tremendously, tremendously by their willingness to look at additional data. So,
I found that number.
okay.
So, Jeannie had mentioned we had gone up to 1.588. And, we had proposed 1.318, so it's a $270,000 increase.
Wow.
Plus our 222,000 extra in septage. Brought us in the positive, from what we expected, 492,000.
Very good. That's excellent. That's a big difference. And everybody thinking we had a shortfall, that we had a little blip, but we're in good shape.
And I was just going over with Dave earlier, just a couple of the line items, and we'll have excess on our electricity by like 45,000. And on salaries, it was like 69,000.
And that's because we've been understaffed.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to think.
Yes.
Right, no,
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just needed to say that.
Yeah.
It's good. We could have
And
$500,000.
Overtime increase because we were on the.
Right.
pulling some extra, and Jeannie's been doing extra work to kind of corral all the data that we've been using to put together our rate studies and all the other things we've been trying to kind of gather a better handle on, so. thank
Very
you.
good.
Thank you, Jeannie.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
So I have all of the die cards all digitalized. And I've started on the first, going by street. So that's something I'm trying to do, like an hour a day.
Oh,
just
good.
to get it.
And depending on your bandwidth, that may be something a senior work-off person could do. So give you a little bit of a breather without things hanging all the time. Okay, anything else?
Can we put on the agenda what we talked about the last couple of meetings ago about,
Uh, Staff
staff
incentive?
incentive, yeah, staff
Yeah,
bonuses, just so we can, now that we got this out of the way, we can start talking about
yes.
the position issues and the staff bonuses, for lack of a better word, with this year particularly.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, and our next meeting's the 19th?
That's right there, the agenda's already.
Okay, that's all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Uh,
Aye.